So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the lovely Alan Clayton.
Thank you. It goes the other way from the one I normally use as well. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to present to you a very quick whistle-stop tour of the Amnesty International Pen Pack. And I'll be terribly honest, I do wish I had thought of that, because if I'd thought of that, I would have had Ken Burnett's life and not mine. Okay? And I would have had the luxury of being flown business class around the world to tell the same story over and over again for a quarter of a century. So I am insanely jealous of the Amnesty International pack for that reason. I will not dissect this pack for you, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to dissect it, I guess by now you know where to go to look at it. It is indeed on SOFII. There are many reasons I could say I wish I thought of that. It is brilliantly written. It is brilliantly designed. It was brilliantly timed. It worked. It recruited tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people to Amnesty International. But the reason I love it is because it is true. It's not a gimmick. It's not some clever creative idea designed to win awards. It is actually true that the idea came from the fact that people would use pens, policemen would use pens to gouge children's eyes out. And I've learned over the years that brilliant creative is not about the fancy ideas that go on the periphery of attention-grabbing of a campaign. It's realizing what the absolute core issue is and cutting all the crap and getting to the truth of a story. And the genius of the copywriter that developed this was realizing that the solution was the same thing as the problem. Authenticity. Something we're all searching for, which I've heard it several times with clients recently. We're searching for authenticity. Does nobody realize what a fundamentally stupid statement that is? How can you search for authenticity? Authenticity is either there or it's not. It's just the truth and telling the truth really, really well. I not only wish I'd thought of this pack, I wish that I'd been allowed to think of this pack. This pack is beautiful in its brutal, savage honesty, which is something very few of us are allowed to do today. In search of intellectual credibility with a small number of people from government and a small number of people in other NGOs and charities, many of our lives are dominated by long, jargonistic, complicated sentences imposed upon us by policy and advocacy departments that actually think being intellectually superior to our emotionally driven donor base is what we should be doing, and therefore our brief is to educate the donor base and then to get bollocked when we don't bring any money in. Yeah? So I am jealous that I was not allowed to think of this pack. And I think we need to go to everything I've said and go backwards. In order to get those brilliant results, we need wonderful simplicity, we need brilliant writing, we need brilliant creativity. And that comes from simple, brutal, honest insight, and turned around to the people that are constraining our ability to communicate brilliantly and say, ladies and gentlemen, we're only trying to do one thing well, and that's tell the truth exactly as it is. So I wish I'd thought of that, because I would love to only be allowed to tell the truth that well.